Hi, video number 2. I'm sat outside in the garden again, not in the playhouse. And I'm looking at the clouds in the sky, and it's so beautiful, but it's definitely different. Definitely different in so many ways. Just as I'm saying that, I can see things everywhere. Today's been quite hard. I've felt sad and I've cried a bit today because the kids have felt sad, or my little boy has anyway. He's a bit older. He's only 3, he's nearly 4, but he's been a bit sad today because he feels everything like I do, obviously. And what scared me this morning, which is ridiculous, and I should learn to get a grip on myself, but he woke up and he said, "Oh, I don't want you to die, Mummy." And I was like, "Why would I die?" And then his dad said, "Yeah, he said that to me." And I was like, "Oh God, am I gonna die? Is this what's happening?" He's probably closer to source than I am, but no, I think dreams are different. Dreams are, for me anyway, they're somewhere else. We're not really here. But dreams are a big thing that I've been remembering a lot of my dreams from when I was a kid, and they were always dreams. They were always lucid dreams, and I thought that was quite normal, and I think probably it is. I'm not sure. But I remember. Nope, battery went. I remember how to use my mind in my dreams to change the outcome. And obviously the less fear you have in your dream, the better the outcome, or the more sway you have over events in your dreams. Anyway, these ones that keep coming back to me a lot are when I used to have recurring dreams and I'd be asleep and then I'd be in front of the house and I'd start jumping and I'd get higher and higher and I'd be like, whoa, I'm a giant, I can jump so high. And I would just jump across the sort of area of the place that I was living in. And they were weird. They happened a lot. And then I used to have ones where I'd go up to a little park in my dreams, which was just around the corner. And then I'd get to the top of the hill and I'd run and then I'd set off flying. And I never flew for too long, to be honest. Even as a kid, I always remember feeling like, oh shit, I'm going down, come on, concentrate, flap a bit higher. But yeah, no, dreams, I've got so many topics that I want to look into and that I need to look into. Just to make sense of things for me, like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, if it is just a spiritual awakening that I've had, Kundalini awakening, all these words. I don't really know the connotations for all these words, or even my words I've got to be careful with because I'm so new to all this. I don't know what, if I'm saying, makes sense. I think that's why I'm doing this as well. Yeah. There are birds everywhere, and that's nice. And butterflies and animals, and they seem to interact these days. And then what I always think is, like, are things different? Like, I feel like they are. Or am I just different? Am I just weird? Have I just always been so depressed and miserable that I've not seen the beauty in life for so long? That's probably true. And the fact that I don't think I've slept more than 5 hours in a row in 4 years with their little kiddies, bless them. Don't have kids before you are free from the mind prison. Yeah, thank God my kids are so young, because that has been, I'd say I've been having an awakening or a change of belief structures, or releasing karma maybe, for almost 2 years, which did start off with a cheeky little mushroom trip, which I never thought I'd have done. But I started listening to Terence McKenna, and that man is a genius. And actually, even just 2 years ago, when I was listening to Terence McKenna, in the background, I would be like, God, what is he talking about? And now... But, so, the mushroom trip. Yeah, we went to pick our own mushrooms. Did I go that time? Anyway, Liberty Caps, from near where we live in England. Tiny little ones, dried them out. Anyway, I was super scared, but the minute I ingested them, it felt like I'd gone home. And this is what I think started off different things, different dreams. Anyway, during this mushroom trip, I had a moment where I was laid on the bed. I think if anybody's had mushrooms before, unless it's just me, but there's a time where it's nice to just retreat to your bedroom, and sometimes you end up in the fetus position, rolling around with endless streams of information coming to you. Anyway, that happened, and I rolled over onto the side, looked out, there was a strip in the curtains, looked out through the window, saw the biggest white light, honestly, I did call it a spiritual moment. I felt like I was being sucked up from my chair, yeah, just like, I guess like you'd see, I don't know, I guess like how you'd envisage somebody's soul to leave the body when they're dying. But I was aware. It's funny again, because I feel like the strength of your mind, or the way that you can use your mind to control the outcome of your consciousness, has always intrigued me because of the lucid dream. So anyway, during this deep mushroom trip, this light came down, and it was like, oh, but it was scary as well at the same time, because I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I sort of felt myself like, and then I remembered the kids, I remembered my life, I remembered what I was doing, and I sort of pulled myself back from this light. Anyway, about an hour after that, love how it's turned into a mushroom trip. Yeah, I was underground. I could feel I was underground, soil. I think when I was trying to describe it the next day, I think I said I felt like a squirrel or a hedgehog or some woodland animal sort of scurrying around in some maze underground. Oh, and that was strange for me as well. But anyway, since that psilocybin trip, which was like nearly 2 years ago, yeah, things really started changing for me. For the better. But it's really difficult, because you can't relate to many people once you've seen things in a different light. And I think that's the start of when you have to sort your own shit out, so to speak. Anyway, I just wanted to do another video so I can keep doing it. But I've been looking at my little books that I was writing in during these crazy times. They're just lovely little books, little leather ones. And it does make me laugh, because it's so typical, the things that I've written in there when I've felt compelled to, or, you know, just And I always laugh and I say to Marco, it's like, bloody Alan Watts again, look at me. We have to feel the darkness to see the light, blah, 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 you know, that type of cliche thing. But I guess that is the message, or that's what's come through me anyway. And the way that I need to keep a check on myself, as we all do, and I guess it's the buzz at the minute with regards to spiritual awakening or ascension, is to get out of the victim mentality. And that's easier said than done, isn't it? And when I was having a flick through my books earlier, I remembered what it was that made me start to open my eyes and change. And it was the realisation that I was, to a much lesser degree, but I was continuing the cycle of I guess you could call it abuse, although I've never ever hurt my children intentionally, and I'd never hit them ever or anything like that. But yeah, so with women's unconscious shadow, so to speak. And I think this is interesting as well at the moment because of this man v woman shit that's going on at the minute. All the, what is it, men go their own way, and all the women, and just the hatred that's coming from different genders. And when you listen to a few different things, and because me and Mark have always been so open about our feelings, I guess, that I feel like I've been able to understand more of a male's perspective of things. And it doesn't make it easy because obviously I'm privy to that. And I've read a lot of things about O negatives being the most aggressive of the RH negatives. And I'm smiling to myself, but I think for me, yeah, for sure, like, I've never ever wanted to hurt anybody intentionally, and I've always been some interferer, social justice warrior, you know. I remember breaking up fights and actually sticking my nose in and occasionally making things worse when I saw unfair or unjust things going on. But I think there's a part of me that always knew that it was a release of aggression within myself as well. As I've grown older and since I've had kids, that aggression tamed, or I managed to soften it, but always be aware of it, because I think you always have to be aware of who you are, who you were, what you are. Anyway, and so I started to understand and acknowledge to myself what I could be, how I could be damaging my beautiful children, and how we are all damaging our children. And it's horrendous, really, because nobody, I mean, the system's not set up. The system's not set up, is it the system? I guess part of the system, but families are just not, we're not in tribes like we used to be. It's difficult having kids, we all know that. If you've got kids, you know that. Yeah. Can I even, I can't find my notes now because I've been showing off from my book. Things that my aura, my presence, my energy, this is what we need to take responsibility for as individuals, but I think especially rhesus negatives, potentially. Because I think we're like magnets to energy, and be that good or bad, and we've got the ability and the wisdom, potentially, or knowledge, how to change that from negative into positive. But it takes practice, and it's not easy, no matter what anybody says. And I look back at my video yesterday, I'm smiling and I'm laughing, and I was genuinely feeling joy, but hilarious how 24 hours later and, you know, you feel different. I saw things again in the sky last night, lights, twinkling stars, red bits all around, what looked like UFOs to me, but when I point them out, it's just, oh, it'll be a plane, it'll be a plane. We live in such a small part. It's not small, really, but it's a place in pretty much the countryside-ish. I just don't know how there's so many planes or lights in the sky during the day or night. Anyway, I digress. Female shadow, female aggression, female aura, what that can do to the kids. My mum never hit me or anything growing up. She's rhesus negative as well, and yeah, similar paths, similar choices, similar routes that you follow. Yeah, I remember the woman look, which I still have to catch myself doing and go, don't do it. And if I do it, I say, sorry for looking at you like that. I thought blah, blah, blah. It's just explain things to the kids. They just want to know the truth of what's going on. Yeah, before 2 years ago, I had a really hard time with the kids and with the kids. Just one, I had them. I found it also, it just forced me into victimhood even more. And so my aura, even though I wasn't doing or saying anything bad, my aura enough and how bad I was feeling and how I looked at certain people, or I remember, you know, slamming doors, kicking my shoes off. I was so angry, and I felt it was justified because of things that were happening in my life. And it's not, it never is. And you know, I'm really mindful. I'm mindful as a parent. I've always known that I had to change when I had kids. Just have a little drink. I did, and I'm getting better every day, but I think we need to know just how important it is. Oh, to help ourselves, to help our children. Because it is not easy for kids these days. Whoa. If you just think about the electronics, the interferences everywhere, on every level, Wi-Fi in every room, speakers, TVs, oh, I'm sick of it all. I just keep switching it all off, but yeah, I want to help mums to understand, and women to understand, the last part of their shadow, and it's not easy to admit. And what I hate looking at now is, and I used to, even again, like I said, when I was pregnant with my second, the old mumsy mum in England, she's harmless enough, bless her, but what the trend is with parenting, or what seems to be for me, or maybe it's just mainstream and I've not been on YouTube long enough, never looked at YouTube before recently, is excusing behaviours, reasons why mummy drinks gin, or you know, these books, this is why mummy's mental case, because da 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 da, and we can all laugh about it as mums, and we can all acknowledge the truth in how difficult it is, and sometimes what you'll do just to get through the day. But I don't think it helps perpetuating shit like that, and the fact that people don't know enough about sleep training yet, and how the cortisol levels increase dramatically when you don't respond to your baby, and how we're peddled by mainstream to leave the kids crying and they'll get used to it, and making a rod throw their own back, all that type of shit, and there's science to back it up now, but yet we're still pretending that it's okay to do these things to our kids. I've never done it. It's probably why I've not slept. I should have done it. No, I shouldn't. But I can imagine, I can remember how it is to be small and to look up at an adult who's looking at you with no love for that moment, not being in that moment, preoccupation, phones, whatever, arguments, whatever it is. It needs to be them, and sleep train is bad. Don't do it to your kids. Yeah. Anyway, I've been banging on for 20 minutes already. That is crazy. Is there anything else I wanted to mention? Yeah, I did want to mention, because this is where this was my last sort of, when I thought to myself the other week, I'm getting a bit too dragged down into YouTube now, and it's the flat earth thing. And I've only looked at maybe 2 or 3 videos. Looked at lots of comments though. I think comments are, again, good and bad. It's just information, discernment, blah blah. But what's the deal? Like, what's going on? I can't, when I watch these documentaries or things that have been put together, I can't see how, and anybody else that I know listening to this now is going to go, she's fucking crazy. Because I don't think it's such a big deal over here as it is there. Again, I've got no bloody friends anymore. Oh, so I can't talk to anyone about it. But anyway, when I watch these videos and I see how everything that we go on scientifically is on people's words from years ago, that alone makes me go, okay, I'll pretend it's fact, but inside I'm going, bullshit. Yeah, the curvature of the earth, the vanishing point of the eyes, what I can't get my head round is what it all means. What the hell does it mean? I feel like as a kid I dreamt of a dome above me, a firmament, you know, like a little snow globe. That's how I envisaged everything. And I still do now, really. When I look up at the sky, I just feel like it is that shape. Yeah. But yeah, I can't see how... And then people go, NASA, satellites, all this. And again, I've not looked into it enough, but I feel like nobody needs to take my word for anything. That's why it's funny when people get their backs up. But, okay, that just looks fake. Just looks fake to me. Just looks fake. Does not make sense. Us being so small, tiny grains of sand, if that, grand scheme of things, how can anybody get up high enough to give us the view that we need? So a couple of things that did put me off flat earth was that I've got visions of flying above the earth, and it definitely wasn't flat. But it was from above, so I guess I could just see the top half of the ball, which could have been a dome. Again, could have just been a dream, and of course I was always told the earth was a globe. Anyway, I understand that some people think it's the most ridiculous thing ever, and I've not looked into it enough. It's just everything that I look at in regards to anything else always seems to get back to this. So someone help me out. What's going on? Is this another test? Is it the Mandela effect? Changes at CERN? Just full-on mind manipulation. What is going on? Yeah. Anyway, I think this was a bit boring, wasn't it? But at least I've done it. I'm so tired. I've had a really, really hard day. Oh, I might read a poem. Yeah, maybe that's... Yeah, so funny. Yeah, I've woken up in the middle of the night. Actually, yeah, flat earth, question mark. Copernicus, Freemason, gravity, question mark, Newton, Galileo, Captain Cook, Antarctica, NASA, bullshit. And these are things that I've written down Yeah, I don't know what it means. Help me out. Double wave energy. Yeah, and again, I've not looked into any of this other things, but I recently stumbled upon some videos about the emotion code and how to release trapped energy within you. And I went straight out and got myself some super strong magnets. But I feel like there's something in all that. Again, everybody's so more informed, it seems, than me. And I recently subscribed to Gaia, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. I'm really enjoying that. But again, I've not really got time to go into anything. So I'm just using this as an outlet to get things out. What's the deal with magnets and healing? Because it keeps cropping up. Magnets, magnetic energy, electromagnetic. We are receivers, I know that. Yeah. Anyway, boring. Hopefully I'll do more tomorrow. I might do more tonight when I've seen this chuffing sky. It's so weird. Anyway, thanks for listening. If anybody's listened, way. And please comment what's going on in the world. Come on, quick. I feel like I trust Reese's negative people. Tell me what's going on. I keep getting this feeling of foreboding, which I don't like. Help.